ARTFIGHT is something I've always been aware of, but incredibly confused and terrified of. I never really knew what it was until this year, and I decided to give ARTFIGHT a try, even if I have no idea what I'm doing. For those who are unaware, ARTFIGHT is an annual event for artists of all kinds, where the artists are split into two teams, and the main goal is to draw characters from the other team to give your own team points. This is called an attack. There is such a thing as revenge, where basically after Team A attacks Team B will return the favor with a drawing of the attacker's character. You can engage in friendly fire, which is drawing characters from your own teammates, but that gives you significantly less points. There are other points to this event, but the main idea is to bring artists together, expand your abilities in circles, and just to have fun. It sounded really overwhelming at first, and preparing for this event was beyond stressful. But that's on me for preparing too close to the start date. I also seldom draw or post my OCs, so it was a mental battle in general. And that's what this video is, my ARTFIGHT preparations. But before we get into that, we must do the obligatory intro. Welcome back to the channel Dex Club, and an even bigger welcome to the newcomers. If you would like to join the Dex Club, say yes. Let me tell you, it is so easy because all you have to do is subscribe and ring the bell. It's that big button that says subscribe. Just tap it. It's super cool, and when you tap it, it makes you super cool too. But if you want to be even cooler than that, you can support me on my other platforms, especially my Patreon and Ko-Fi, where I have free memberships and paid tiers starting at $1 with all sorts of perks, one of which is getting mentions in my videos. All of this is linked in the description, so give it a go. With all that out of the way, let's get back to the video. When preparing for ARTFIGHT, I didn't really have a goal. I just knew that I had to post some OCs, and the ARTFIGHT card had 5 slots, so I gave myself a goal of 5 OCs. And luckily for me, I already had a bank of OCs. I'm just not sure how to show them off, so I just pulled out my top 5 and updated the art and designs for ARTFIGHT. So consider this an intro to my favorite original characters. To start us off, I have Casey Chambers. Casey is actually a newer character that I made for an online D&D campaign I'm running with some friends. I made our world to be basically like Metropolis with an undercity that is like Gotham. Yeah, I rip off a lot of my modern stuff from DC, but that franchise is a big influence on my life, so it makes sense. I named the main setting Starlock, a highly populated city full of heroes, villains, and civilians. Casey is one of these civilians. However, when exploring a crashed alien ship, she fell into a pool of a foreign substance that infected her bloodstream and gave her the powers she now has. From average coffee barista to light bender, Casey has taken the past few years to come to terms with her new reality and learn how to harness her power to use its destructive and dangerous abilities for good. Casey does eventually create a hero name for herself, Astro. And as our campaign continues, she will become more skilled and confident in herself. She's also gonna bag herself a mutant boyfriend that my friend designed. The next OC I have is Shreya. This character comes from a secret project I've been working on, and if you want to know what that is or just want more information, I'll be posting that information and content to my Patreon and Ko-Fi very soon. Eventually, it'll make its way onto my Instagram, just not right now. Anyways, Shreya is a snake sorceress. She was heavily inspired by the green goddess, you know, Ka-Atila. However, Shreya was originally pale-skinned with white eyes and lilac hair. The design was just not fitting her personality very well. Yeah, she was creepy and that was my goal, but I want her to be more like a succubus because that is what her love interest refers to her throughout the series. So for context, Shreya is a lost and weak sorceress when she is found and saved by a cruel and evil king. Because he saved her from execution, she pledges herself to him and eventually starts to fall in love with him during her service. It is partially a result of her dedication to the king, but she does actually get to know him as a person and who he hides deep down within himself. She has a lot of development as time goes on, and only time will tell if she becomes independent from the king's cruel grips on her or not. Her powers are like any other wizard or sorcerer, however, she has one unique power that allows her to reanimate the recently deceased. This power comes with a price, as the reanimation causes the victim to become Shreya's familiar and their body and mind is contorted and destroyed to become a beast of the original form. This power caused many of her own to turn on her, believing she is evil or cursed, which led to her prompted execution. Following that, we now have Puppet Master. He is a character that was inspired by Master of Puppets by Metallica. He was originally created when I was in middle school, and his name used to be Corey. Now his name is Atreyu. At least, that is the name of his host. Puppet Master is actually the result of an accident with his mother and a demon summoning. He is the son of a demon father, which gave him his human and demon form. Atreyu and Puppet Master are two, but in one body and one mind. Like Jekyll and Hyde, the two have a symbiotic relationship with each other, with one being fully human and the other being a demonic creature with a full demon transformation and telekinesis. The demon Puppet Master is wild, unpredictable, and dangerous. He traditionally uses his telekinesis with hand motions as if he is moving puppets across a stage, which is exactly how his powers act. His victims become a shell when under his control, and they can and will do anything he desires, even if physically impossible. His power does not stay within one range of biological beings, as he can bend the will of gravity, which allows him to float and fly. This character also has a love interest who is also designed by one of my friends, and they love each other as themselves and their alters. It is amazing. Anyways, Puppet Master owns a club that was built out of a cathedral that fell into a sinkhole, and he does shows with his, quote, puppets, along with his DJ, who is also an OC of mine, but he unfortunately did not make it into the art fight. Next on this said lineup is one of my favorite characters, Dr. Henry Everett. This is another character I designed in middle school, but he looked very different compared to now. Once again, he is a character for the campaign that Casey is in. He is one of the main villains, and his entire character takes after Shockwave. Everett is a mad scientist and a doctor. Actually, now that I think about it, he's just a mix of Shockwave and Pharma. Anyways, Everett was once a human and a family man who was highly respected within the city for his medicines and machinery. But after conducting experiments and surgeries on his young son to preserve what he calls an unmatched intellect, where he removed organic parts of his son and replaced them with cybernetic machinery, there was a sudden and mysterious explosion at Everett's many labs that killed him along with his wife and son. Except, that's not entirely true. Everett survived and had his mangled body rebuilt by his remaining androids. Every part of his once organic body has been replaced to make him a human mind tucked away safely behind metal and machine. Yeah, that's no mask, that's his face now. Another fun thing about Everett's cybernetic body, his skeleton is still intact but reinforced with a new build, with the exception of his left arm, which he lost in the explosion. He decided to make his new arm a detachable weapon. He can have a regular arm, or he could have his comically large syringe. And he uses that to trap, stab, and inject. Although he rarely uses the syringe for injections, which is ironic considering it's a syringe. Anyways, for all my mech fans, he is single and legal. Now we have finally reached the end of my lineup. We've seen heroes, villains, sorcerers, demons, and cyborgs. Now get ready for a human high school graduate. I know this is silly, but this is one of my favorite OCs. This is Jamie Roberts. Jamie was originally my gender-swapped Sona, but then he became developed into a completely original character with no resemblance of me in any way possible. Another thing about Jamie, he is both an OC and an OC insert for South Park. I don't know, I just love the idea of him being one of the South Park students and being friends with the kids. He's definitely the kid who comes over for a sleepover, refers to his friends' parents by their first names, and talks to them the entire time. Jamie is a people person, but it's more of a front. Jamie is just your average 18 and 19-year-old. He skates and does music. Of course, he's a big fan of Ice Nine Kills because that band is fantastic, and he takes time to keep his body healthy and strong. He doesn't really have much of a drive for a career because his focus has been on taking care of his home life, specifically his mom after his parents' divorce. His mom works the graveyard shift at the local hospital, leaving Jamie with most of the responsibility of the house and whatnot. He does, however, have a desire to be family-oriented and caring for his friends. I like to think that Jamie would probably do community college online because going into the Air Force would stress him out since his mom would be on her own. Either way, Jamie's a simple character with lots to unpack, and I love him so very much. And now, we have finished prepping. Other than making these OCs, I also added all of my South Park AU characters, which if you haven't seen those videos, you can check them out in the cards at the top of the screen right now, or you can surf my channel and find them as they are the most recent videos at this time. In terms of preparing for ARTFIGHT, all I really had to do was make and upload characters because I don't have the time and energy to make a Sona themed for ARTFIGHT. I do have my card though, and I am on my team. I'm on Team Seafoam, so all you Stardusties better lock in because I'm not only going to be attacking, but I'm going to be doing revenge. So prepare yourselves, feel free to follow me on ARTFIGHT, I will gladly follow back, and I will probably attack so long as you're on Team Stardust. Anyways, that's all I have for the ARTFIGHT prep. I hope you all enjoyed this video and hearing about my OCs because I had a great time drawing and showcasing them to you. Be sure to check out my other platforms, and especially my Patreon and Ko-Fi. That would be so amazing. Otherwise, leave a comment, like, and subscribe with notifications on so you never miss a Dex Club upload. With all that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Now roll the outro.